Joe would be like, "Why are we talking?"
Thank you so much for coming today. The time is 11:33 and I call this meeting to order. For those of you on Zoom, please update your name to include the following: the organization you're representing, the word student if you're a current student, and if you feel comfortable doing so, please share your pronouns that you would like us to use. To do so, please click participants, click more next to your name, and add your pronouns in the org you are representing. For those of you who are on Zoom and in person, if you haven't done so, please complete our attendance form. The link and the QR code are on the screen, and the link will also be shared on Zoom. We will now approve the last meeting's minutes. Our last General Assembly meeting was held on August 30th, 2022, and we'll approve the minutes at this time. Please review the minutes from last meeting, and if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know now. All right, with that, the Executive Council approves last meeting's minutes. We currently have one sponsored speaker request that was submitted for today. Dr. Mills, the Associate Director of Student Advocacy from the Office of Student Advocacy, is here to speak to you all. If you would like to speak at a future meeting, please complete the Get Involved form. The link and the QR code are on the screen, and the link will also be shared in the chat on Zoom. I would like to welcome Dr. Mills to the Office of Student Advocacy.
Morning, everyone. We're excited to sponsor this meeting this morning. We hope you enjoyed all of our goodies outside and you grabbed everything on the table and you left nothing. Please leave nothing. Again, I'm Dr. Mills. I am the Associate Director of the Office of Student Advocacy, and I have several partners. We have Christy Randolph-Simon, who is the Director of the Office of Student Advocacy, and we have Ebony Brunn, the Associate Director, the other Associate Director of the Office of Student Advocacy, and then we have our Administrative Assistant, Ms. Cassandra Pickney. And today we wanted to highlight one of our services for you, and that is Hawk Pantry. Yay, Hawk Pantry, you see it all. Hawk Pantry all around campus, from the mobile trailer to ordering groceries. If you experience Wow Week events, you've seen that. But specifically today, we wanted to highlight that Hawk Pantry is available to sponsor your RSO. So if you are a registered student organization, then you can submit a request through our OSA request form to the Hawk Pantry, and we can assist you in sponsoring your organizations with snacks for your meetings. So you do have to submit that request. It does have to be 2 weeks in advance, but if you would like for Office of Student Advocacy to sponsor your registered student organization, please let us know. And we want you to know that Hawk Pantry is here for that. And then we have a quick challenge that we want for you to participate in. So if you can scan the QR code on the screen, and the deadline is September 8th at 5 p.m. What we want you to do is get familiar with our OSA request form. All of our services are linked to our OSA request form. So whatever you may need from our office, then you can link that in our OSA request form. So what you have to do is fill out your identifying information in that request form. You're gonna come to a box that says Other. In that Other box, if you can name one of the services that the Office of Student Advocacy is responsible for outside of Hawk Pantry. We just highlighted Hawk Pantry. So outside of Hawk Pantry, if you can name one of the services that OSA is responsible for in the folder. The challenge is in the folder. So put your name, one of the services in our Other box that OSA is responsible for. Then you can go to the desk. We'll contact you to come to our desk and you will win a prize. That's all you have to do. Scan the QR code, fill out your identifying information in the Other box, put one of the services that OSA is responsible for in that Other box, then we'll contact you if you get it correct and you win a prize. How's that sound? Sound good? Yay?
Can I participate too?
You can participate, Dr. Hart. Yes, you can. Yes. So we're not going to go through all of our services because we want you to review our page. If you ever need us for anything, I always tell students this: UHCL homepage, In the search engine, type OSA. Our page comes up and all of our services, and then the OSA request form is there for you as well. And this is our office. These are my lovely, lovely colleagues that I enjoy working with every day. Again, you have myself. My name is Dr. Mills. We have Christy Randolph-Simon, Ebony Brunt, and Ms. Cassandra Pickney. And we thank you for hosting us today.
Our current allocation balance is $21,356.89. There were no fund requests submitted for today. Catholic Faith Ministry and Ratio Christi fund requests were approved, and total allocation balance will be updated next week. If you would like to submit any fund requests, please visit our Get Involved form titled 2022 through 23 Student Government Student Org Fund Request, where the link is there as well as the QR code. And the link will also be in the chat on Zoom. If you have any questions, please email us at sga@uhcl.edu. I would now like to welcome Erica and from the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership.
Thank you for the warm welcome, everyone. I'm Erica Njoku, the Associate Director of Student Involvement and Leadership. Today, I have the joy of presenting with you all about the fund request process. I'm hoping to take you on a journey through the whole process, and then towards the end, offer any questions if you have any, so that we can clarify any potential room for clarity. Okay, so the fund request process overall. To get started, in general, I'm going to go through the fund request process, some general knowledge, just so everyone can be on one page, and then we'll go through the actual Get Involved application form, so you know where to access it, how to get to the form itself, and then how to complete it. We'll also talk about the presentation process. So when you're here to actually present for your fund request, what information are you providing the campus community and your fellow student org leaders so that they can vote appropriately? Then you're going to host your event or your travel experience, and then you will be reimbursed for the approved amount of your fund request. And then lastly, I will want to circle through something that we call a funding board work group, just to give you all some feedback on what that is, and then also to get some feedback from you all on your thoughts, should we move in that direction. And then finally, of course, I'll conclude with the opportunity for any questions. Okay, so just the key note is that all the fund requests for student government are given via reimbursement. That is a very important point to note. And also that your travel would only be reimbursed up to 45%, and events would only be reimbursed up to 50%. So when you're giving your presentation, that's a key thing that you want to keep in mind. And then also when you're actually making your fund request, making sure that your fund request accurately reflects the maximum amount that you can receive. And then of course, also following your application, your fund request will need to be voted on by your fellow student org leaders that are here at the meeting and on Zoom. Okay, so the key requirements. First and foremost, your org does have to be an active registered student organization within the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership, which means that you have done all of the requirements to become a fully registered student organization. A key note is that reimbursements are not given to individual students, but rather to the organization as a whole. Also, you'll want to make sure that your application is complete, accurate, and on time. Those are the key three things, because we will have to keep circling back with you to make sure that it is complete, accurate, and on time. So you want to make sure that you do get that together. Making sure also that the request that you're asking for is within the limit. So of course, if it's an event, then it's no more than 50% being reflected on your fund request, and no more than 50% being reflected when you actually come to present. Also making sure that your event or travel is open to all students. So if you're having a gala of some sort, of course, all students would need to be welcome. And of course, invitations offered for everyone to be able to attend. A keynote also is that you do need to have a bank account. And so in order to get that bank account, you will have to have an EIN number, which you would get through the IRS. And then you would open up your bank account in your organization's name. And then the other key step is that you will also need an on-campus vendor ID. So we do help you set up that on-campus vendor ID process. However, the EIN number and the bank account, you all would need to secure as a student org. And if you do have an advisor, we encourage you working with them to really have some continuity of your accounts and things following your, should org leader transition. We know you're all going to graduate from this place. So making sure that you do have some channels set up to keep the information being, having the longevity of your information. Also making sure that you've attended at least 51% of all of the meetings per academic year. So right now we're at 3 meetings. So as of the day of your presentation, that would be included in your 51%. So making sure that you've attended, you have been attending. Also, it is key to note that FSU will only reimburse via direct deposit to the student organization, not third-party disbursements for any one individual student. Again, it would need to be in your student org's name. Expenditures do need to be consistent with established policies for the university and the local, state, and federal law. And it's also worth noting that no recipient of student service fee money shall make a gift, reward, or lend funds generated by the student services fee. And then also funds using the student services fee cannot be utilized to purchase alcoholic beverages. So those are 3 keynotes that I wanted to also add. So in the effort of not having to do the screen share multiple times, I'll go to the get involved form at the conclusion of the presentation for everyone to know how to get through the form. But the process in general is that at least 4 weeks prior to your event or travel, you're going to want to submit the get involved request form. And that at least means you could do it 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, wherever your spirit leads you. But just making sure that it is done at least 4 weeks in advance of your event or travel. And then 2 to 3 weeks before your event or travel, you'll want to give your presentation. A key thing to note, though, is that the Student Government Executive Council will reach out to you and give you a specific date for which to come and present. So if you submitted your fund request last night, please bear with us. We'll get to it. If it's 4 weeks in advance, then we'll definitely make time for your presentation in the coming weeks. But just knowing that, if you submitted it last night, the chances of you presenting the next day would be, let's call it slim to none. So please make sure that you get those in advance. And then of course, day of, host an outstanding event or travel experience, have a marvelous time, but do make sure that you keep all of your receipts along the journey because you will need to turn all of those in at the conclusion of your event or travel, just making sure that you have all of them. And that way we can assess what can actually be reimbursed up to the maximum amount that you were approved for. Okay, so this is the actual layout of the fund request. So I'll use this mouse, hopefully that works. Here you put your student org name. I'm up here. Your event name, the event date. A key point in this section is this should be the total cost of everything that you are spending for your event or travel. And we'll go through the travel page in just a moment. But so for your event, this should be the total cost of everything. Here you would put the maximum that student government would be covering. So if your event costs $1,000, then there should be nothing more than $500 here in this student org section. And then your remaining $500, you would distribute here. So are you having, as an organization, do you all have dues? And that's what you'll be utilizing to pay for the remaining amount. Or whatever it means you would be collecting amongst yourselves. You would put that here. If you were getting any external donors or contributions, you would input here how much they are contributing to your event. And then of course, let's say you were charging a ticketing fee or, cost of attendance basically for someone to come to your event, then you would include that here. So that's how this is broken down. And then of course you would include in detail all of the information of what exactly you're planning to purchase here, how many, what's the cost per item, and then the total cost. And another key point is that if we add all of this up at the end, so everything that you've input here, ideally it needs to match this same amount up here, or we'll circle back with you that the budgets don't align. What you have as your total amount and what your actual costs are may or may not align. So hopefully they do. And then over here in the funding source, this gives you 4 options: student government, your organization, donations, contributions, and participant costs. So you would outline here which of those 4 categories would be covering that cost. So if you have a speaker, would that be student government funding the total cost? Would student government be funding a portion of the cost? And of course, indicating that here via the funding source. And you're more than welcome to add an additional line if you need to here to then say that your organization will be covering the remainder of the cost. Is this making sense so far?
Yes.
All right, outstanding, thank you. And then here on the travel section, it is just the same as the event section, but of course, you're going into more specifics about your transportation needs, your accommodation. Sorry, I cut some of it off, but that's what that says. And then also any other items, transportation, et cetera. And you would just include all of that, and everything else is the same. How many people are traveling, how much per person, and the total. And again, your total cost should match what's at the top as your total amount. Okay, so then, once you've done your fund request, SG has received it, they have welcomed you to present on X, Y, and Z date. Then you're wondering, what exactly am I gonna present about? Well, I got the answer for you. So first and foremost, you'll wanna introduce your org, who are your members, what is your mission, and then you'll wanna move into an overview of the event or the travel. So where are you going? What kind of event are you hosting? And then of course the cost breakdown, which really, if your spreadsheet is done nicely, you can just take a screenshot of that and include that in your presentation. That way you don't have to do double work, and you'll be able to just speak out about what your specific costs are. And then of course, give folks an opportunity to ask any questions should they have any. Okay, so then after you've given your presentation, we will be open for voting. And so registered student organizations are those that would vote on fund requests. You'll have a voting ballot when you check in at the front table, and that is what you'll use to check in or to vote, excuse me. And if you have more than one person here representing your org, only one person would be submitting that vote. But of course, recognize that you are voting on behalf of your entire org. So perhaps quick chat amongst yourselves type of thing of whether or not you want to approve that. And then also, thank you. And then also a person may represent one org again. And then in terms of your voting options, you're able to approve, deny, or abstain. If you are approving, that means you agree, you want their fund request to be funded. If you deny, you do not want their fund request to be funded. And then if you abstain, that basically means for some reason or the other, you do not want to participate in this vote, basically. Maybe you missed the presentation, you don't have any feelings one way or the other, so you're welcome to abstain. And then votes will be tallied by the end of the meeting. So our wonderful team of executive council members here would be tallying those votes. Ideally towards the end of the meeting or somewhere towards the fund request process, they'd be telling you out what those results were. But barring any time constraints, they will be included in the minutes. So you're able to access them there. And then at the following meeting, they'll follow up with you regarding whether or not the fund request was approved. Then, as the org, you would host your event or travel. You would make sure to turn in all of your receipts. Once your fund request is approved, the SG advisor, who are myself, would then connect you with our staff in the Office of Student Involvement and Leadership to get you all the next parts of the process so that you have everything basically ready to go. And again, that will be that EIN number, the bank account, and the vendor system. Ideally, you already have those, and that would definitely speed up the process as well. And I did not mention, if you are traveling, please make sure that you are submitting all of the forms to the Dean of Students that are required at least 4 weeks in advance of your travel. And you'll find them in the fund request form itself, and then in addition on the Dean of Students website if you need it from there also. Okay, so that's all the things about the fund request. Does anybody have any questions about that before I take us into the get involved form itself? Nope, okay. Oh,
I was just gonna ask if you could remind everybody where they can find the form, right? It's just on the website.
so you're heading there right now. Yes, yes. Great question. Perfect timing, I would say. Okay, so let's do we're already, okay. So here on this tab, so basically your homepage would be this. You'll have memberships here. And what you can do is here, type student government. Okay, and then you'll go to student government, and then right here, if you scroll down just a bit under forms, the very first thing is the 2022-2023 fund request form. So you would click that, and then you would start a new submission. Here's all the key details, most of which I just went through for you, except for the fact that if you're giving one presentation, or sorry, if you're spending between $0 and $3.99, you would need to do one presentation. And if it's greater than $3.99, you would need to do 2 presentations. So that is another key thing to note. But this is the form itself. So you would include your org name, your phone number, your primary and secondary officers, and then you'll need to indicate whether or not this is a travel or an event. If this is a travel or an event, and this is the form that I was just referencing. When you click this link, it'll actually download for you. So you would open it and then complete it, and then you would upload it here. So in the interest of being able to move on with this tab, let me find something random. Oh, well, yes, there is nothing random. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, so. Okay, so here, please be sure to fill in all the appropriate form questions. Okay, so then this will take you to this slide where you'll mention what is your event, the date, the location, and then ideally you already have your confirmation on the location, so you'd upload that here. If you're having food, you would need to do the food permit process, which is indicated here as well. If you click yes, then you'll definitely want to make sure that you're doing this. Include a description of your event. If there's any equipment that you'd like to borrow from our office, it'd be helpful to have that information here. Some of the things we have include a popcorn machine, movable TVs, ice chests, etc. So we do have a robust list of resources, which I believe Kate will go over momentarily in our new Student Organization Center and Lounge. So you're welcome to borrow things from there. And then you'll do a nice little detailed agenda, how you're going to market the event, and then also indicating that you understand that you need to be added to the vendor system, and also that you will be reimbursed a maximum of 50%. So that is the form. That is how you would complete it. Had you clicked travel, it would have just asked you a different series of questions, including the Dean of Students form. But that is the entirety of the fund request process. Any questions? Sensing done, wonderful. The last thing I wanted to mention to you all is our funding work group. This is a student and staff-led board. Currently, we're in the process of just recruiting new members for this board. But the idea is that this group of staff and students would be responsible for allocating student org funds. So this piece of the student government meeting would kind of move out and instead be with that funding group. That would help student government be able to better, align themselves with focusing on their Senate, things like that, issues, et cetera. And also being able to have a centralized place for student orgs to be able to ask questions. And that funding group would consist of approximately 12 students, and then at least 3 professional staff from our office, including myself, Kate, and Patrick. So currently we have a couple of students that have come on board that have completed fund requests in the past, things like that. But I kind of wanted both two things. One, to kind of hear people's feedback on that, if you think that would be a good direction to go or not. And then also if you'd be interested in joining us on the journey.
That's a good idea. I wouldn't have tried, but that was a good idea.
Any other feedback?
Nobody's answering.
Challenging questions? Yes.
Would it sound like its own organization, right? Or would it be something else?
It would be something else. It would be more akin to like an SFAC, like a committee of people that are working to do org funding, less a student org.
What would be like the time requirement? Like how many meetings a week, month,
Great question. I would argue that we'd probably meet at least weekly, because I would assume that we'd have a lot of fund requests coming through.
Right.
But we'd probably look to meet weekly or bi-weekly
Okay.
for about an hour, ideally. But those are all loose conjectures, so don't quote me on it.
Okay. Are you looking for students in all different colleges? Like,
Ideally, different student orgs, because, I mean, sure, you can be at different colleges, a nice touch too, but yeah.
okay.
Yes, Christelle, thank you.
Would student orgs still be presenting to the committee, or would they then just send in a presentation?
See, that is a great question. We are in the working stages of this org. So if you joined us on the journey, we can help define all of the.
More than happy to.
Yes, thank you. We welcome you, yes. Other questions? And in the interest of not taking up too much more time with the meeting, I'd be happy to go return to my seat. Okay, thank you all. Thank you.
And this is any contact information if you have any questions after the meeting. All right, for new business, I just want to go through and congratulate the students who were recently elected with our past election and also recently appointed to committees. So congratulations to Joshua Lyman on being elected into the Shared Governance University Life Committee. Congratulations to Melissa Loetta on being elected College of Human Sciences and Humanities Undergraduate Senator. Congratulations to Shanuka Reddy Tanbudi on being elected College of Business Graduate Senator. And also congratulations to Felicia Lehman on being appointed to the Piper Award Committee and Dining Committee. Moving on to old business, I would like to congratulate the following students for being appointed to, or congratulate them again for being appointed to the following committees. Melissa Loetta and Diana Amato were both appointed to the Academic Honesty Committee. Joshua Lyman was appointed to the Quality Enhancement Committee. And Jennifer Beamer was appointed to the Parking Traffic Safety Subcommittee. Moving on to Executive Council reports, Jessica Armstrong, our Vice President of Administration, has no Executive Council report, but Nancy, myself, and Isabella all provided some executive council reports. So for Nancy Arellano, our Vice President of Outreach and Communications, just wanted to thank anybody who participated in the weeks of welcome. We were able to increase our social media followers by 10%, with a total of 570 Instagram followers. And so if you are not following our Instagram, please do follow our Instagram. It's where we put any updates and meet the teams. Anytime we have new members join us, they will all be there as well. Moving on to my Executive Council report. The Executive Council recently met with AVP of Facilities, Stephen Kitchen. And so I know concerns came up at our last meeting about water bottle refill station filters. Facilities will be now checking them on a weekly basis. I also suggested a QR code system to be left at all stations, and so that students, if a water bottle filter is in need of replacement, they can scan it and tell facilities what building and what location those are at so they can get there. Because as you know, if you check a water bottle filter, it has a green light. As soon as you step away from it, in a couple minutes can turn red. And so I suggested that they leave QR codes so students can submit those concerns. Restroom accessibility, and so they are currently working with the Accessibility Support Center to install ADA buttons at all restrooms on campus, and I also told them to do that. We should be doing the same for all offices, and they assured me that they are doing that as well. They're also working on gender-neutral restrooms for every building. I also brought up the concerns students have on sidewalks, and sidewalks will be surveyed this week for bumps, cracks, and other imperfections to be filled in. Another update, the Arbor HVAC system is to be updated in the near future. And then also the ADA buttons in the rec center, they were waiting on electrical supplies to come in, and they were delivered this past Friday. And so those should be fixed very soon. The Executive Council will also be meeting with President Walker on Friday, September 9th of 2022. And we will also have updates from that meeting as well. Any questions? All right, thank you. I just want to move on to our director position. So we currently have some directors open, our internal affairs director, treasury director, public relations director, and our technology director. There are also different descriptions of what each of those directors do. If you are interested in being a director, please show. These are also the committee positions that are open. And there is, if you want to learn more about one of the committees, you can always email us at sga@uacl.edu. To apply for all positions that are open, the QR code and the link are on the screen. The link will also be shared on Zoom. And if you have any questions at all before you apply, you can always email us again at sga@uacl.edu with any of those questions. If you want to learn more about what each position does, please do email us and we can help you get connected with a committee or a director position that would work best with your interests. For Senate reports, the first Senate meeting will commence on September 15th, 2022 from 11:30 to 1 p.m. At this time, meeting will be held via Zoom until we are able to secure a room for those meetings. There are also no committee reports to report at this meeting. I would now like to welcome Alexis Staropoli from the Campus Activities Board.
So our upcoming event is Painting with Hunter on Thursday, September 22nd from 12:30 to 2 p.m. in the Bayou Atrium. We will have snacks, some drinks, some little goodies, and time to relax, paint whatever you want. We'll have some music going on, so it's a little fun time to relax between classes and lunch. Next, we have 2 executive board positions available right now. Our brand coordinator and treasurer. That is the link to apply if you want to take a photo or fill it out later. It's also on Get Involved. And for a brand coordinator, some things that they do is flyers, posting on our social media account, and you also gain experience through leading, hosting our events and everything like that. It's a team-based organization, so we do everything together. Treasurer, you'll be working with budgets, planning events, being a leader, gaining experience, and just enhancing your overall college experience. Next, we have our first general member meeting today for the fall semester. That is the Zoom link. So if you want to take a photo of this, you can just click it at 2 to 2:30 p.m. today. And this is where we'll be talking about all of our upcoming events for the whole semester, as well as our members are going to be able to plan an event not on their own, but with our help, but it's an event that they choose that they want to have. Next, all of our information is on Get Involved, and you can become a CAB member there as well, and follow us on Instagram. And thank you.
I would now like to welcome Claudia from the Heart, Spirit, and Traditions Council.
Hello, I'm Claudia. I'm the Vice President of HSTC.
Hello, my name is Anna and I'm the president. How are you?
So we're still looking for our communications coordinator. We have been sending out emails and everything to everybody with the member form and also with the HSTC communications coordinator thing. And that's the QR code for it as well. And also, if you want to become a member, we have this or also on our Get Involved.
And today we have our first meeting at SoCal at 1 p.m. We hope y'all can join today. If y'all just want to learn about HSTC or become one of our members, it would be amazing. So yeah, thank you.
For general announcements, I would like to welcome Felicia Lehman and Kate Rivardo.
Hello, it's your favorite time of the day, Heart of a Hawk. And I see you feel the energy online. Feel free to put a thumbs up if you're excited for Heart of a Hawk. As many of you know, and as many of you have already started participating in Heart of a Hawk by attending our Student Involvement Expo, one of our recruitment events. Heart of a Hawk is a competition going on for our registered student organizations, and we do have 4 categories: recruitment events, leadership events, spirit and tradition events, and community engagement events. If you are able, if you look on the screen, you will see a list of the activities that you will gain points from during the fall semester, again, including Student Involvement Expo. It was nice to see so many of you working your table, meeting new students, welcoming back returning students. Those of you that have already begun the process of hosting an event, you will also be earning points towards the fall Heart of a Hawk. OSA, we're one of our sponsors today, Office of Student Advocacy. Participating and helping them with their food distribution is a way to continue to earn points. So again, we love to see it. We love to see you involved, and thank you, Hawks.
So I just wanted to take a minute to introduce myself. I'm Kate Navarro, and I'm the new coordinator for organizations and activities in the Office of Student Advocacy. I just want you all to know that I'm a resource for you for whatever your organizations are. Also, highlight Student Involvement Expo. We have over 600 people attend that event. And I wanted to talk to you about SoCal. So Student Organization Center and Lounge, if you haven't been up to the second, you should definitely check it out. We have a ton of resources that your organization out for events. We have signage, different like cooking pots, crock pots, stir warmers. We have picture paper. We have just general supplies, sticky notes, pens, paper. We have games. We also have a new Nintendo Switch that can be used in the space with, I think, 5 games for that to be played. Also have our student org room that you can request to reserve on. The conference room in the back of the space. And we still have Carol spaces available once your organization registers. You can request a Carol space as well. Just want to highlight some of the resources that our student org room has. Be sure to check.
The hours are Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Friday, 10 o'clock to 4. Please use the space.
We'll now move on to open forum. If you would like to submit any anonymous questions or concerns, please do so by using the QR code at the link on the screen. The link will also be shared in the chat on Zoom. If you have any questions or concerns now, you can raise your hand on Zoom or you can raise your hand here. Yes, Dr. Harlan.
Good morning, everyone. So I wanted to come to this meeting and take a few minutes to, this is my last SGA meeting. I'm sure you all know I will, tomorrow, Friday the 16th will be my last day here at UHCL. I will be moving forward. I'll be the new Vice President for Student Affairs at Virginia Commonwealth University. I wanted to thank you all for being probably one of the strongest advocates throughout my professional and personal development. I have never worked with a student body like UHCL. I've worked for 25 years in this field, and I've never worked with a more dedicated student body and group of students. You all are always so focused on family, friends, working and being better for yourselves. Such a unique student body. So I just wanted to tell you, thank you all for being the best part of my job for the past 3 years. And if there's anything I can do in the future to support any of you all, you have my contact information. You all, a lot of you follow me on social media. This is, not goodbye. This is see you later. But I just wanted to thank you also. I appreciate it.
Anybody have any other things to add during our open forum? All right, we'll now move on. Our next General Assembly meeting of the fall semester will be held on September 13th, 2022 in person and through Zoom for those who are unable to attend in person. The meetings will be held on a weekly basis every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. To schedule an agenda time, a completed request form must be submitted on the Get Involved website by noon on Wednesday, September 7th, 2022. Online forms are available through Get Involved or on our website at uhcl.edu/SGA. The link and the QR code are on the screen, and the link will also be in the chat on Zoom. Thank you once again for attending our General Assembly meeting. The quote of the day is "Don't let yesterday take up too much of today" by Will Rogers. Our social media is on the top right of the screen, as well as the QR code to our Instagram. Please follow us on social media. That's where we post, again, any updates or anything important that we may have. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.